I couldn't keep my kids here long enough to see if they goes, and it makes you feel bad as a mother.
August 12, 2022. The morning sun was just brushing the rooftops along Staffelin Avenue when Breezy's brother noticed a 2017 Dodge Journey parked outside. It looked wrong, windows fogged, doors locked, the air too still. He approached, glanced inside, and froze. In the back seat was his sister, lifeless, silent, gone. What followed were screams that would haunt the block forever. Police and medics arrived, their flashing lights washing over the home as neighbors stepped outside in disbelief. Breezy wasn't just another name in Detroit's crime logs. She was a 22-year-old intern with the Detroit Fire Department, known for her bright smile and big dreams. She wanted to become a doctor, to save lives, to heal. Instead, hers had been stolen, and the man accused of taking it, 46-year-old Gregory Reynolds Jr., was no stranger to violence. Investigators would soon allege that after an argument, he pulled the trigger, leaving Breezy's body abandoned in her own car. A witness will later come forward that he told him she planned to tell her family, so she had to go. What secret can be so big that taking her life was the best option for him? Her mother's vow still echoes, "He's going to be caught. We're coming for you. Your justice will be served." Detroit had lost a rising star. A family had lost its light again. If you're into real true crime stories, stories that dig deep into the facts and the people behind them, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every single day, so there's always another case to uncover, another truth to explore. From the moment she was old enough to understand struggle, Zombracia Breezy Works made a choice that set her apart from so many others, her age. She refused to let Detroit's hardships define her. She grew up surrounded by the hum of resilience in a city known for its toughness, its grit, and its heart. But Breezy wasn't hardened by it. She was softened in the best way possible.
And I remember I walked in your shop to get a shirt after my brother passed. And then you told me about the Thanksgiving event. And you was like, well, we going to the NSO Center for Thanksgiving. We about to have a huge dinner. If you wanna volunteer, you can go ahead. You welcome me with open arms. No doubt, I was there that day. You pushed me, like, whatever you want to do, however you want to help, we can do it. You was right there 10 toes with ideas, with the resources and everything. And that stuck to me always. And no matter what, I will continue to follow you, and I'm going to continue to look up to you as a young woman.
Thank you.
For that. Because you opened my heart to that for sure. Like, I've always volunteered with my schools and stuff, but to do it outside of school and to know that I'm not doing this for hours and I'm not doing it for money, but I'm doing this out of my heart, and to know that I have genuine people ahead of me to take me there, that's everything to me. Everything. And I appreciate that so much.
She saw pain and wanted to ease it. She saw people hurting and wanted to help at just 22 years old. Breezy was already walking a path that many only dream of. She had graduated from the Grow Detroit's Young Talent Program, though a city initiative that gives young people work experience and mentorship. But for Breezy, it was more than just a job. It was a chance to serve, an opportunity to pour her energy into helping others rise above the very struggles she knew too well. She later joined the Detroit Fire Department's Junior Cadet program, where her supervisors immediately recognized something rare in her. She was an exceptional participant, one recalled, beautiful young lady, smart, dedicated on her way up the ladder. Her spirit, they said, was infectious. When she walked into a room, she didn't just fill it, she lifted it. Breezy had a heart big enough for everyone. She was the one who never missed a birthday, a graduation, a family cookout. She made it her mission to show up for others because she knew how much it mattered to feel seen. Her family called her dependable and kind. Her friends called her loyal and selfless. Her mentors called her a future leader. But if you asked Breezy what she wanted to be remembered for, she would have said for helping people. That was her dream, to become a doctor, to keep learning, to keep healing. It wasn't ambition for fame or money. It was ambition fueled by empathy. She had already spent time volunteering in community outreach programs, working with the homeless, the addicted, and those often overlooked. She believed every person had worth, even when the world didn't see it. And for a city often plagued by gunfire, Breezy was one of the few trying to put out the flames, both literally and figuratively. She was disciplined, humble, and driven, a healer in training, a young woman who had just begun building a life grounded in purpose and compassion. She planned to save lives. She did not plan to lose hers. Detroit is a city built on rhythm, the steady pulse of engines, the echo of footsteps on cracked pavement, the hum of people who refuse to give up. It's a place where sirens and strength coexist, where hope and hardship share the same streets. In this city, you can feel the history in the bricks, the heartbreak in the headlines, and the heart in the people who keep showing up anyway. Zombracia Breezy Works was one of those people. She represented what Detroit could be at its best, a young woman who believed that change wasn't a myth, it was a mission. She wasn't just surviving here, she was building something. She was proof that even in a city scarred by violence, there are those trying to heal it from the inside out. Breezy's story resonated because she was the light in a place that knows too much about darkness, and what happened next wasn't just a crime, it was a life interrupted, a promise cut short. On August 11, 2022, a day that had started like any other summer day in Detroit. Warm air, restless energy, and the endless buzz of city life. Sometime that evening, Breezy crossed paths with a man she knew, an older man whose presence would soon change everything. There were words exchanged, the kind of words that carry tension and unfinished emotion. No one can say exactly what was said or what it meant, but the tone was sharp, the energy uneasy. It was a clash between calm and chaos, and neither side was willing to bend. The night deepened, and the noise of the city began to fade. Streetlights flickered over empty sidewalks. Somewhere near Stahalin Avenue and Vassar Drive, a car sat parked beneath the quiet glow of a lamppost. Inside, time stood still. The city slept around it, unaware of what it was holding, unaware that by morning that stillness would shatter lives. Then came dawn. The hum of the city returned, and so did its people. A young man, Breezy's brother, noticed the black 2017 Dodge Journey parked strangely on their block. Something about it felt wrong. He walked closer, peered through the window, and froze. In that single moment, everything he knew about safety, about mornings, about normalcy, disappeared. A scream tore through the quiet streets, echoing against brick and concrete. Neighbors stepped outside in confusion, then in horror. Sirens rushed in, red and blue lights painting the scene in panic. The air was heavy, too heavy to breathe. Some scenes don't end when the cameras leave. They linger, in hearts, in homes, in memories that refuse to fade. And on that street in Detroit, one of those scenes had just begun.
A Detroit family searching for answers tonight after their loved one was found beaten to death inside of a car.
Police say they made the discovery Friday on the city's west side, and tonight family and friends held a vigil in the hopes that someone can come forward and help solve the case. Victor Williams joins us now live with more. And Victor, the family just wants justice.
That's correct, and DPD is still looking for the killer. But as you can imagine, this is a very traumatic experience for the family of this young lady, having more questions right now than answers.
Who we here for? Breezy!
It had to be somebody she knew, or, she just wasn't that type of person.
Tears can't help but fall as candles burn in memory of 22-year-old Zambrisha Works. Her body was disturbingly found after she had been beaten to death and left in the backseat of a 2017 Dodge Journey on Stahalin near Vassar. Her mother, Luana, is hurting the most.
Whoever did this is a real coward.
Definitely.
In real life.
Definitely.
My daughter only this big. You didn't have to do that to her.
Right now, no leads seem to clearly point the finger at whoever may be responsible for her death. Regardless, their actions have sparked a wildfire of heartbreak for Zambrisha's family, and sadly, this pain is nothing new for Luana.
10 years ago today, I was in the same predicament with her brother. Exactly 10 years ago today. Here I am again. What are the odds I lose two in one lifetime?
She had just wrapped up working with the program called No Barrier to Success with organization president Mel Polk.
Zambrisha was an exceptional participant in their program. She's an exceptional young lady, beautiful young lady, smart, dedicated, on her way up the ladder.
The driven young woman, more affectionately known as Breezy, had plans to be a doctor, but tragically all that has now been taken away after only 22 short years here on Earth.
She has such a big heart. She don't miss nobody events. She's there for everything. She got multiple careers.
Her father, Paul, is confident that investigators will solve the case.
He's going to be caught. He's probably going to watch this. We're coming for you.
He might be out here.
We're coming for you. Your justice will be served because there's too much technology out here.
And to make matters worse, this young lady was supposed to be turning 23 in just a few days. So sadly, instead of planning some type of celebration, family members are going to be planning her funeral. So if you'd like to help out with those unexpected expenses, head over to our website, clickondetroit.com. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Police began piecing together what happened the moment they pulled up. The questions came quick. Whose car is this? How long has it been sitting here? Are there cameras around? Who saw her last? Who was she with? Detectives started moving through the neighborhood, knocking on doors, collecting little pieces of memory from neighbors who were still trying to process what they'd just seen. Phone records got pulled, surveillance footage got requested, timelines started getting compared. It was a quiet storm of investigation, every clue bringing them closer to a truth nobody wanted to face. And at the center of all of it stood a mother, eyes red, voice shaking, body trembling with a mix of rage and grief that only a parent who's lost a child can understand. "He's going to be caught," she said, and her voice went from desperate to defiant. "We're coming for you." Those words carried across Stahalin Avenue like a promise, a mother's vow to her daughter that justice wouldn't sleep. Inside that taped-off area, the evidence started telling its own story. The forensic team worked careful, documenting where the vehicle was positioned, collecting shell casings, mapping out the angle of the shots. There was no chaos in how they moved, just precision. The medical examiner confirmed what the family already knew in their hearts. Breezy had been shot multiple times. The damage was severe. The act was deliberate. But underneath all those technical terms and sterile reports, one truth stayed sacred. This wasn't just a case file. This was a life. As hours turned into days, a pattern started coming together. Witnesses remembered seeing Breezy earlier that evening with a man, older, someone she knew. Surveillance footage and phone data backed up what people were saying. Quietly, detectives started zeroing in on one name, Gregory Reynolds Jr., 46 years old, and he had a history with violence. Through interviews, one detail came up that made everybody's blood run cold. A witness said Reynolds had admitted what he'd done, said he had to finish it off, because Breezy was going to call her people on him. It was just an allegation, not proven yet, but haunting, a glimpse into a mind where fear and rage had twisted into something fatal. You can't silence a voice and erase the truth. That line, man, it came to define everything that followed. About a week later, police made their move. Reynolds got arrested and charged with first-degree murder, felon in possession of a firearm, and 2 counts of felony firearm. They held him without bond. And for the first time since that morning, her brother looked through that car window. The city let out a breath. It didn't know it was holding. The officers began their homicide investigation, and through technology and witnesses, they were able to identify the offender. And on Sunday, just this past Sunday, August 21st, we took him into custody. Breezy's mother spoke up, still trying to make sense of it all. "I'm shocked because I know my daughter wouldn't have never been out hanging when I went with him." When Reynolds showed up in court, the truth of what happened couldn't be ignored. The judge, his voice stripped of any ceremony, laid it out plain. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 or 5 times to the head of an unarmed woman. The courtroom went silent. It wasn't drama, it was exhaustion. Another life gone, another community broken. When they asked for his plea, Gregory Reynolds Jr. said 2 words that gave nobody in that room any comfort: not guilty. The judge wasn't having it though. 36th District Court Judge Kenneth King, sending an angry message in court to a 46-year-old man named Gregory Reynolds. The judge saying he has had it with horrific violent crime, and those responsible have no place in this city. These allegations are true. This is exactly the kind of element that we need to rid our city of. This is a bloodthirsty criminal who shot and killed an unarmed woman. Witnesses got on that stand and said Reynolds had words with Breezy, said he beat her, shot her, dumped her body in her own SUV on the city's west side. If he was drunk or if he was high, he wasn't so drunk or high to not get a gun, fire that gun. Reynolds had priors too, going back to 1999 for assault with intent to murder. This wasn't his first time walking that line.
The homicide team has closed the case in the fatal shooting of a young rising star.
As Detroit's police chief holds a press conference to discuss the murder of Zambrisha Works, her mother can't believe she has lost a second child to gun violence.
I feel like I couldn't keep my kids here long enough to see where they goes, and it makes you feel bad as a mother.
On Tuesday, 46-year-old Gregory Reynolds was arraigned on several charges, including 1 count of first-degree murder for the killing of Zambrisha. Police say it was over a simple argument.
The officers began their homicide investigation, and through technology and witnesses, they were able to identify the offender. And on Sunday, just this past Sunday, August 21st, we took him into custody.
I'm shocked because I know my daughter wouldn't have never been out hanging with him. So I figured they're not really telling me anything. Me knowing my child, she was also wearing with somebody and they ran into him, they knew him. And he said something out the way to her and she said, you know, I'm gonna tell my mama.
In court Tuesday, it was revealed that Reynolds is no stranger to crime.
He does have from 1999 assault with intent to murder.
But Zambrisha was full of promise and had been working for the summer as a junior fire cadet for the Detroit Fire Department.
She just touched us, her spirit, her energy, her love for the citizens of Detroit.
The judge denied bond for Reynolds, and he will remain in the county jail.
Allegedly indicated that he told the witness that he shot her because she was going to be calling her people on him, and allegedly he also said he had to finish it off.
Zambrisha's funeral will be held Saturday, August 27th, the day she was born and would have turned 23.
It's going to be a birthday. I just want it to be a huge celebration. I don't want nobody to ever forget her, ever.
In Detroit, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
The Detroit Fire Department, they never forgot her. They spoke about Zambracia. Breezy works not as some lost intern, but as one of their own. A cadet who showed every value they hope to pass down to the next generation coming up. Her mentors described her as exceptional, driven, a light in any room she walked into. After she died, the department created an award in her name, given to recruits who show compassion, perseverance, and dedication to service, the very traits that defined her. One commander put it best, she wasn't a statistic, she was a standard. Her mother carried a different weight though. 2 in 1 lifetime, she whispered, the words barely making it past her lips under all that grief. The house got quieter. Birthdays came and went with empty chairs at the table. Family photos became both comfort and pain. Sometimes her phone would buzz, and for half a second she'd expect to see Breezy's name light up that screen. The silence after, that was the worst part. Over at Stahalin and Vassar, the community pulled together for a candlelight vigil. Balloons floated up into the Detroit sky, some shaped like hearts, some like stars. Friends left handwritten notes taped to the light pole right beside where her car had been found. One message said, "Your light will never go out." Her mother stood there, voice shaking but strong. "He might be up here, we're coming for you." But her words weren't about revenge, they were about faith. About refusing to let her daughter's story fade into just another cold case collecting dust. In court, justice moved slow like it always does. Hearings, filings, discovery, motions. To the family, it felt endless. To the system, it was just procedure. Caseloads piled up, labs got backed up with evidence, witnesses became hard to track down. Justice crawls when grief runs. But detectives kept pushing, prosecutors built their case, and the presumption of innocence stood tall right next to a mother's pain. It's the cruel balance between law and loss. What we know is simple. August 11, 2022, there was an argument. August 12, the body was discovered. Young woman shot multiple times. 46-year-old man charged. What we don't know is the full why, the quiet details between their last words, the real spark that turned a conversation into chaos. We're not going to fill those gaps with rumors. The truth deserves more respect than speculation. But what happened to Breezy fits a pattern we've seen too many times. Young lives full of potential, lost in moments of rage. Arguments, access to guns, one impulsive act that leaves generations broken. Detroit's tired, real talk, but it's also brave. Every vigil, every prayer, every person who says never again keeps that bravery alive. If Breezy were here today, she'd be studying, earning certifications, working through medical school applications, probably volunteering somewhere in her free time. She'd still be helping, still be healing. Detroit needed her, and it still needs the people like her she would have inspired. For her brother, that walk back to the car will never fade. Trauma changes how memory works, the sound of gravel under his feet, the weight of dread in his chest. Those feelings live on, but his courage to remember becomes its own kind of strength. Not everyone who survives has to be strong all the time. Sometimes just surviving is enough. The programs she lifted up, Grow Detroit's Young Talent, Junior Cadets, all of them, they keep growing because of her. They're proof that one life, even when cut short, can keep changing others. Her family asks people to donate, to mentor, to create opportunities in her name, to turn pain into progress. The law speaks in charges and codes. Families speak in birthdays and futures that'll never happen. The courtroom deals in evidence. The heart deals in absence. And between all of that stands the truth. We'll keep following it, with care, with accuracy, with empathy. In those court records, one phrase keeps showing up. A witness saying Gregory Reynolds claimed he had to finish it off. Those aren't confirmed facts, just words showing how fear and pride can rot into violence. No secret is worth a life. Taking one doesn't protect you. It destroys everything you ever claimed to value. In the weeks after, firefighters, youth workers, neighbors, they all honored Breezy in their own ways. A young cadet dedicated his first ride-along to her memory. Somebody started a scholarship fund. A mentor kept her photo pinned above the desk. In small acts of remembrance, her spirit stayed alive. And as those final candles burned low at Stahalin and Vassar, her mother's voice rose one more time, quiet, steady, unbroken. Your justice will be served. Zambracia Works should still be here. Since she can't be, we gotta become her continuation. Protecting others, believing in better. carrying forward the light she left behind. We cover these stories every day, cases that need to be told, voices that need to be heard. If this one touched you, hit that subscribe button. There's always another story, another family waiting for their truth to reach people who will actually listen. We'll see you in the next one.